Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So yesterday I mentioned that I'd found 6 horses that I felt were nicely dropped by the handicapper. I thought they were a little bit quick to drop them, or I thought they ran reasonably well, or really well, and the handicapper still dropped them, which was very promising and helpful for the horse's chances next time out. So those 6, I want to go through them. I think last time they were all over hurdles. I've got my notes here, but it's a long way back in my notes. This time they're all over fences, which is quite strange. I can't find it. Anyway, so the 6 horses, let's go through them. First of all, it's If the Cap Fits. He dropped £1 for finishing second. I mentioned him, I think I mentioned most of these in my video already, in the previous video, but I want to go over them again because I think that the handicap marks are very lenient, and they can certainly go well in handicaps in the near future. If the Cap Fits, he's dropped now to a mark of 149, another £1 after finishing second. I thought his second at Aintree just demonstrates he's not going to be winning these types of races. He needs to be dropping into handicap company now, and as soon as he does, he was a high rated as high as 166 previously. He's now down to 149. He has lost some of his ability, for sure, but not all of it. He ran perfectly respectable at Aintree. Drop him into a handicap, and I think he'll go really close in a big handicap where they can look at, they could even look at something like the Coral Cup for him, or maybe back at Aintree in April. The 3 mile handicap hurdle the 3 mile handicap hurdle at Aintree at the end of the season, that could well be a target as well. He's won a Grade 1 at Aintree, but he's nicely handicapped, so I'm definitely looking out for him going handicapping. The second horse was Pillion. Now, interestingly, Pillion has also been highlighted by Ben Aitken from Narrowing the Field. Narrowing the Field, I mentioned them last week. They're actually sponsoring the November NAP competition this month, where you can win the whole season analysis from them. And what they try and do is highlight prime conditions for certain horses. So for Pillion, for example, they've suggested that he needs softer going, which I agree, he does need softer going, which is promising for a race that we have, or I've noted down. After he finished 4th at Aintree, he qualified for the Temps final. If his handicap mark is high enough, I'm not sure it is at the moment. So I think they might look at another Temps qualifier, and there's one at Sandown in December that I think would suit him. The trip should be fine. I thought he stayed the 3 mile just about at Aintree, and a soft heavy going. He's got form on soft and heavy going. He's won on heavy at Fosslas, as you can see here. He's won on soft. He's also finished second on soft. So the ground isn't an issue. And if he turns up at Sandown on soft, heavy going in a Temps qualifier off 131, I think I'll go very, very close. I think that was a really respectable run. And with that fitness run now under his belt, I expect him to go very close next time. The third horse I want to talk about is a horse called Harvey, who finished 3rd in the Badger Beers. Badger Beers or Badger Ales? I always get it confused as to which one it's now called. I think it's now called the Badger Beers. Finished 3rd. I thought he ran a very respectable race. And I think there's an obvious target for him, the Sky Bet Chase in January at Doncaster. He's won a Grade 2 at Doncaster over the same trip. He dropped £1 to 135, which for a Grade 2 winner isn't really that high in the handicap. And he'd been a good horse up until a couple of disappointing runs pulled up at Escott and then 8th at Ayr. His 4th at Chepstow on his return was okay, and his 3rd at Wincanton was another good run. Dropping trips slightly back to Doncaster where he's won, and I think that's a great target for the Fergal O'Brien trained Harvey. The next horse I want to talk about is a horse called Captain Nor. I'm a big fan of Captain Nor, and I think he's very well handicapped. He just needs conditions. I'd love to know what Ben Aitken would suggest Captain Orr's prime conditions are. Something that I might try and see if he could analyse that horse. Maybe we can get that for people who follow this blog or follow Ben. He might be able to let you know. Anyway, Captain Orr, he finished 4th. And I said in the video previously, he just didn't get the clearest of runs at the right time. He then made a mistake at the 3rd last. He got hampered at the 2nd last. And he ran on quite nicely for 4th. Handicapper dropped him another £2. He's down to 133. And they've connections have suggested that he's going for the Beecher Chase next. He's currently 14-1 for that. He was 20s. I spoke to a person on Twitter last night. Via DM, it sounds like he's had a bet on him at 20s and then his price shortened to 14s. No idea what stake that person had on to move him from 20s to 14s. But anyway, off 133, I think he'll go very close in the Beecher Chase if he handles the fences. If he doesn't, I still want to give him another go and wait for Kempton, where I think he is absolutely thrown in, especially compared to last year when he ran a really good race behind Royal Pagaille. The fifth horse I want to talk about is Manuel. I obviously highlighted him yesterday or the day before with the Beecher Chase in mind as well. He was dropped £2 down to 118. So he'd be right near the bottom of the handicap in the Beecher Chase, if he even gets in, that is. And let me just pause the video and check that he's got an entry. So I just checked, and Manuel does have an entry for the Beecher Chase. If he does get in, there's quite a few horses above him at the moment. I think the Beecher Chase would be much more his trip, and I thought he ran a perfectly respectable race in the Sefton. He dropped £2, as I said, to 118. The last horse is Honest Vic, and this is the horse that I think is absolutely thrown in now when he goes in a handicap over fences. He's down to 141 now, Honest Vic. The beginning of the season, he was rated 150. And that came after winning at Cheltenham in October over hurdles. He flew up the handicap for a very impressive win. Then finished 5th in a Grade 1 and then finished 10th in a Jumpers Bumper. Take the Jumpers Bumper out of the equation. What's he done? He finished 5th in the Grade 1. Nothing wrong with that. Over fences, he's just been running against very good opposition. Graded opposition, that if he took them on in Grade 1 company, he'd probably finish 5th like he did in the Grade 1 over hurdles at Newbury. I'm really looking forward to him staying over fences, but running in a handicap. As soon as he runs in a handicap of 141, I will be really, not piling in or anything, but he'll be my nap of the day. Unless he takes on one of the others that we've highlighted. But I'm so convinced that Honest Vic off 141 can go very, very close. They could well have a long-term plan already of the Ultima. We know he can run well at Cheltenham, having won in October. And they may have thought that they just messed up slightly by winning that so comfortably and then realising he's not a Grade 1 animal. They might have been disappointed they didn't target the Potemps final. This year, if the Ultima is the plan, off 141 or anything around that, 142, 143, down to 138, 139, I think he would go very, very close. I really like Honest Vic. So if there's only one you take out of this lot, it's Honest Vic for when he goes in a handicap. But hopefully there's a few subsequent winners there or future winners there when they get their conditions and the races that they want. Thanks for listening. I'm hoping you're enjoying these videos. If you are, let me know. This will also be on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. And we'll keep these videos coming. Thanks for listening, guys.